Alarm scream through NORAD command center. 14 minutes. That's all the time between a hostile missile launch and global catastrophe. Every screen flashes red. Every phone rings simultaneously. Every person in the most secure room in America knows they're staring at the end of the world. But Senior Airman Sarah Chen, the quiet analyst everyone called the Typist, cracks her knuckles and gets to work. What happens next will redefine everything you think you know about the people who protect us while we sleep. The missile appeared on radar at 0347 hours, Pacific Time. Russian ICBM, trajectory locked on Los Angeles. Estimated impact, 14 minutes, 37 seconds. In the command center, seasoned officers who trained for this moment their entire careers suddenly realized training and reality were two completely different animals. I need options, people. General Morrison's voice cut through the chaos. What do we have? Aegis systems are down for maintenance, sir. THAAD batteries are out of range. Nuclear response protocols require presidential authorization. We're trying to reach Air Force One. Every solution required more time than they had. Every protocol demanded procedures they couldn't complete. 14 minutes had become 12. 12 was becoming 10. That's when Sarah Chen stood up from her workstation in the corner. For 3 years, she'd been invisible in this room. The quiet girl who typed situation reports, filed intelligence summaries, updated databases while real officers made real decisions about real threats. Colonel Patterson had made it clear what he thought of her contributions. Chen, stop playing with computers and get me coffee. Adults are working. But Sarah wasn't playing with computers. She was talking to them. Her fingers moved across the keyboard like water flowing downhill. Lines of code appeared faster than most people could read. Mathematical formulas that would make MIT professors weep with joy. Encryption algorithms that didn't exist in any textbook. Chen, what are you doing? Colonel Patterson demanded. Buying us time, sir. 9 minutes remaining. What nobody in that room knew was that Sarah Chen hadn't always been a report typist. Before the Air Force reassigned her to administrative duties, she'd been something else entirely, something the Pentagon preferred to keep classified. Sarah Chen was a cryptographic warfare specialist. Top 5% of her class at the Defense Language Institute. Fluent in 7 languages, including 3 that most people had never heard of. Her specialty wasn't typing reports. Her specialty was breaking into systems that weren't supposed to be broken into. I need administrative access to the satellite network, she announced. Absolutely not. Patterson snapped. You don't have clearance for us, sir. With respect, I have clearance for things that would keep you awake at night. General Morrison stepped forward. Something in Sarah's voice had changed. The quiet typist was gone. Someone else had taken her place. What's your plan, Airman? I'm going to hack their guidance system. 8 minutes. The room fell silent except for the countdown timer and Sarah's fingers dancing across 3 keyboards simultaneously. She'd pulled up displays that most of the officers had never seen. Satellite feeds, communication intercepts, data streams from sources that officially didn't exist. This is impossible, whispered the communications officer. Their systems are air-gapped, completely isolated from external networks. Sarah smiled for the first time anyone could remember. Sir, everything is connected to something. You just have to know what to look for. She'd found it. A maintenance frequency that the missile's guidance system used to calibrate its trajectory. An narrow-band communication channel that updated GPS coordinates every 30 seconds. It was supposed to be secure, encrypted with military-grade algorithms that would take supercomputers years to crack. Sarah cracked it in 47 seconds. 7 minutes. Her fingers moved faster now. She wasn't just breaking into their system anymore. She was becoming part of it. Every line of code she wrote integrated seamlessly with software developed by engineers she'd never met, in a country she'd never visited, for purposes they'd never intended. What exactly are you doing? Morrison asked quietly. I'm teaching their missile new math, sir. The mathematics of deception. Instead of targeting Los Angeles, the missile would receive coordinates for empty ocean, 300 miles off the coast. Instead of nuclear devastation, it would create nothing more than a very expensive splash. But first, she had to make the missile believe it was still on course. 6 minutes. Chen, I'm reading multiple system intrusions. They know something's wrong. Not yet, they don't. Sarah had anticipated this. While her primary program rewrote the missile's destination, Secondary algorithms created false data streams, fake telemetry that confirmed everything was proceeding normally, phantom signals that verified the original target remained unchanged. To every monitoring station in Russia, their missile was performing flawlessly. 5 minutes. Colonel Patterson stood behind her now, watching code appear on screens faster than he could process. Mathematical equations that seemed to solve themselves, system architectures that reconfigured in real time. Where did you learn to do this? Sarah's hands never stopped moving. MIT gave me the theory, sir. The NSA gave me the practice. The Air Force gave me the targets. 4 minutes. Multiple authentication requests incoming. They're trying to verify system integrity. Let them verify. Sarah had built authenticity into every line of code. When Russian technicians ran diagnostic checks, they would find exactly what they expected to find. When automated systems confirmed trajectory data, the responses would be mathematically perfect. The missile would never know it had been compromised until it was too late to matter. 3 minutes. Sarah. General Morrison's voice was different now, respectful. What happens if they detect the intrusion before impact? They won't, sir. I didn't break into their system. I became their system. 2 minutes. Every screen in the command center now displayed Sarah's work. Trajectory modifications, communication intercepts, real-time analysis of Russian monitoring stations. She'd created a complete picture of their adversaries' capabilities while simultaneously rendering those capabilities useless. Impact in 60 seconds, someone announced. The room held its collective breath. 30 seconds. Splash. Confirmed the tracking officer. Missile impact confirmed. Middle of the Pacific Ocean. No damage, no casualties. The command center erupted in cheers. Officers who'd been preparing for nuclear war were suddenly embracing each other. General Morrison walked over to Sarah's workstation, where she was calmly shutting down her programs and clearing her screens. Airman Chen, I need to understand what just happened here. Sarah looked up from her keyboard. The quiet typist had returned. I prevented a nuclear incident using standard cryptographic countermeasures. Sir, that wasn't standard anything, and we both know it. For 18 months, Sarah had been filing reports and fetching coffee while possessing skills that could change the outcome of international conflicts. She'd been assigned to administrative duties not because she wasn't qualified for operational work, but because she was overqualified for everything else. Why didn't you tell us what you could do? Morrison asked. Sir, I was ordered to type reports. So I typed reports. When I was ordered to stop a missile, I stopped a missile. Colonel Patterson approached slowly, his face red with what might have been embarrassment or something else entirely. Chen, I owe you an apology. No sir, you don't. You saw a young woman typing at a computer. That's exactly what I was doing. You just didn't realize what I was typing. 3 days later, Sarah Chen received new orders. Reassignment to Cyber Command, promotion to Staff Sergeant, clearance levels that required congressional notification. Her new office didn't have a coffee machine. It had something better. It had computers connected to everything. The quiet typist became something the Pentagon had always needed but never knew how to ask for. A digital guardian who could reach through cyberspace and touch systems on the other side of the world. Someone who could prevent wars before they started, using nothing more than mathematics and the kind of patient precision that comes from being underestimated for so long that you learnt to over-deliver without anyone noticing. 6 months later, when a similar incident occurred over the South China Sea, there was no panic in the command center, no desperate scrambling for options. General Morrison simply picked up a secure phone and made a single call. Sarah, we need you to work your magic again. Copy that, sir. Give me 5 minutes. She only needed 3, but the story doesn't end there. It ends with a question that keeps intelligence officers awake at night. How many Sarah Chens are there? How many quiet people in ordinary jobs possess extraordinary abilities? How many times has someone prevented catastrophe while everyone else was looking the other way? The answer might surprise you. In government buildings and military installations across the world, there are people whose official job descriptions have nothing to do with their actual capabilities. Administrative assistants who speak 12 languages, maintenance workers who hold advanced degrees in nuclear physics, security guards who could hack into systems that officially don't exist. They're the invisible guardians, the ones who keep us safe while we debate whether they're qualified to keep us safe. Sarah Chen returned to her workstation and opened a new document. Another situation report. Another intelligence summary. Another day of typing while possessing the ability to reach through computer screens and touch the future. Colonel Patterson never asked her to fetch coffee again, and somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, marine biologists are still trying to figure out why their instruments detected a massive splash in empty water, followed by trace amounts of radiation that dissipated within hours. They'll never know they were studying the remnants of World War III, the war that lasted exactly 14 minutes and ended with a quiet woman typing the right words at precisely the right moment. This is Sarah Chen's story, but it's also the story of everyone who's ever been underestimated because of what people see instead of what they're capable of seeing. Remember that the next time you meet someone whose job seems smaller than their presence, sometimes the most powerful people in the room are the ones who don't need to prove how powerful they are. Sometimes they're just typing.